Hello, and welcome to the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and where you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm your girl Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. Her, and if you have some tea, you know what to do. Hit me up. I am currently just drinking on some water here because I was thirsty. And so, got some water. Hydration is important. So, stay hydrated, everyone. But what I also have is my cup mug. Here. Here's your cup mug. Other cup merch is also in the shop. You can get that if you like. And I know you'd like to. So, just get it. Just get it at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship domestically in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. And we do ship internationally, so there are no excuses. Spain, I'm looking at you. Get your cup mugs. But I guess there are some excuses. Let me take that back. Because if your country is on fire, under fire, or underwater, then there are some excuses. So, if that is happening to where you are, our thoughts and our prayers are with you. We hope everything works out and everybody is safe and gets back to a sense of normalcy in your lives. And when that happens, celebrate by getting a cup mug or any of our cup merch. Period. But our thoughts and prayers are with you all. Thank you.
Well, I'm David Healy, and I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute shirt. Today, I decided to wear Miss Kylie Sonique Love. Yes,
Absolutely, hell
we love
yes.
her. She's great. And
Period.
I am just drinking on some water right now. Finally have some water.
Hola, I am Eduardo, the Mexican representative of this podcast. I'm here to talk shit and get hit. I guess most of us are drinking water today because I'm also having water. I'm sick and tired of this cold. It's not going away. I want to cut my nose off. I cannot breathe.
Uh, my sentiments. I am River, your Brazilian correspondent here on the cup. And today, for the first time, I am drinking soda. I'm drinking it out of my Hello Kitty mug because we had local elections today and I need something to cheer me up. And so I'm drinking my favorite soda, Brazilian soda, Guaraná. I recommend to anyone that has access to it. It is very good. But because my country is also under fire, um, I'm drinking a lot of water as well because it's a need at this point, not an option. But I'm excited to talk about this episode of España because I think I enjoyed it the most out of all of us. So I'm excited to see what everyone thinks.
Yeah, it really seemed like River was the one that was highest on this episode than everybody else. I think everyone else had some issues with this.
Maybe it was just such a stressful day that watching it just made me feel so good that I just liked it
Yeah,
a
that's
lot.
very likely.
That's
That's very
possible.
possible. That's very
Because I
possible.
really had a very relaxing day. Like really relaxing, like more normal relaxing than I ever have on a Sunday. Because for some reason something happened at my church, so we didn't have church today, so I didn't have to go to church. And so I just relaxed. And then I started watching this episode and I was like, maybe I'm too relaxed for this because I think I'm too relaxed. I don't know. But
Yeah.
we'll talk about it. Um, but before we do, we want you to subscribe to this channel because we're so close to 2,000. So close. When I tell y'all we're so close, we need y'all to help us out. Subscribe to this channel so we can get over that 2,000 mark. That would be great for us. Also, we are part of a network and we have 3 other channels that we have. And we would love for you to be a part of all of our channels. So subscribe to all those channels. The links will be in the description below in our link tree, as well as our audio podcast link, so you can listen to us on the go. And trust me, you want to do that because sometimes you just need some noise in your background to get you through the day, and we can be that noise. Yeah. or whatever. If you don't think we're noise, I mean, it's fine. We can be that voice of reason. We can be that common ground for you. We could be the voices in your head. Whatever you need us to be, we can be that for you. But so follow us on all of our audio podcast links as well. And follow us on our socials at the Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And our Patreon link is down there as well. So you can get early access to all of our look over here, our companion pieces to our recap shows, including this one, and well, the next look over here that we do. And all of our other and early access to some other things on our other channels, as well as exclusive content across all four channels. So you want to join our Patreon, see what craziness we have behind the scenes, what we do, what we talk about, what we just like. It's about us on that channel, and really it's about you. So check it out. Let us know what you want. We'll try to give it to you. Those are all the things. So let's get into this episode 3 of Drag Race España. We're coming back, and the porta of the club keeps gone. Porta's gone.
Absolutely
Like,
devastated. I will
no,
never recover. I am
no,
so sad.
no. The tears that rolled down my eye. I was like, no, but because
And
I
all of the
didn't
girls were
see
so
last week
upset.
until I'm so sad.
Ugh.
It was a lot of people very sad. I was like, Porca was so loved. Like everybody really, really wanted her to stay, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
I've kind.
Krista and Coco.
They were
Yeah, we
crying
didn't
like
realize they
crazy.
were all friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
They
mean,
didn't really
like
show the relationship, so.
close.
Yeah, she seemed to be very loved and respected by the whole group. So I think that says a lot about Vodka. And I wasn't here for reviewing that episode, but I was very upset to see her go. We're gonna miss out on a lot of great looks, I'm sure. So I'm excited to see if she's gonna post them on Instagram. I hope she does, because I want to see them.
We
But
got.
unfortunately, I do agree with her going home. Unfortunately.
Mm. But yeah, everybody's crying. They're sad, and they're still talking about. It was a lot of her, and oh, we're gonna miss her. And they congratulated everybody for winning and winning the lip sync, but it was kind of just like it was a very sad moment, and everybody was very sad that Porca was gone. And but then they get out of drag, and everybody's happy again, and we got
Yeah.
some
This was the calm
pulling
before the
off the
storm.
wings. Huh? Yeah,
This was the
very
calm
much the
before
calm
the
before the
storm.
Oh,
storm. Very
hmm
much. It was a
Because
lot
the
of
last
damn,
loving moment of the
whew.
group.
Right. I'm gonna say take this moment in, everybody, because this was the happiest they were after they started taking off each other's wigs. It was like, woo, and it was like great. And then we come in the next day, and everybody's still talking about Porca, and they did their whole tribute to Porca as they came in, which I thought was very sweet. Gone but never forgotten, Porca. They won't let you go, girl. And people have vowed to witness between them for you and them, so they're just not letting it go. Um, a lot of how are you feeling after the next day? Like how you feel? How's this happen? Just this weighing on you, and everybody's like, I'm okay. It's another day, another week in the workroom. Blah blah blah. Then I don't know if anything happened before Supreme comes, and they get the mini challenge, which I was like, oh, okay. Anybody want to talk about the
Which
mini challenge?
had something to do with social media, question mark, and at the same time melons.
Who can
Sure.
cut a melon in half with a heel? But it had to be most equal parts, and you had to cut it. Now, I've never seen the trend, so I don't know if it's a trend or what the trend was about. I've never seen the
Um,
trend on social media of cutting melons or anything with other things. I don't know. Never
Heels,
seen the
apparently.
trend.
Yeah.
Never seen the trend, but it was apparently a trend. So they line them up and they put on their little outfits and they cut a melon with a heel, and whoever cut it in the most equal would win. Sure. And Angelita, she won it. Good on her. She can cut a melon with a heel.
Good for
And
her.
she
Question
told us
mark?
her strategies. She had a strategy.
Oh.
She said she knocked like dots
Mm-hmm.
around like in a line, and then she opened it with her
With her,
hands.
yeah, she put her fingers in there. I was
Mm-hmm.
like,
What a
Very
what
smart.
a, what a niche skill to have, truly. Opening a melon with a heel. Truly, what a niche skill.
I mean,
You
But
never
as
know
long as
when
it
you're gonna
works.
need it.
when you
It's
gonna need to
it's good
cut
to
that
have it.
melon? If you don't have a knife, how you gonna cut the melon? You know what? I got a heel. Let's chop this sucker open. What if you are stranded on an island when you got you are wearing heels, and that's the only thing you can use to cut this melon, or you starve? She will never starve. She will never starve. Good on you, Angelita. Good
Yeah,
on you.
Sure.
it was interesting to see the way they cut them too, because you could cut them either like straight down the middle
Mm-hmm.
or do like from end to end.
Mm-hmm.
And I expected more of them to do from end to end, not straight down the middle. Um, but I think because
I was
they were a
actually.
little uneven, like
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
like
Mm-hmm.
if you cut them straight down the middle, they were a little uneven. And maybe that's why Anelita won, is because she did cut them like from end to end. And I don't know.
I don't
Yeah, I
know
was
the art
actually.
I
of
mean,
cutting. Go ahead.
I'm
What's
telling
that,
you, I
Eduardo?
was shocked that many people went like from end to end because that just didn't cross my brain when they said that. So that's very possible. It's very possible that that happened with some of the girls where they were just like, "Oh, I should have done that. That would have been smarter." Like
I,
that didn't cross my mind at all. So
or
I was
maybe
kind of
they
shocked.
did that because they were following the line of the
Hmm.
melon.
mm,
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, that helps.
I don't. I'm not in the art of cutting melons with heels, so I don't know. I don't know what's best. But and Angelita finished it, and she understood the assignment, and she got it done. She wins. So what she wins?
Are we sure we shouldn't talk about this mini challenge as long as we talked about the Philippines mini challenge this week?
Absolutely not. We can keep it moving. Thank you, David.
Not
Let's talk
37
about
minutes?
each
Thank
melon
you,
and
David.
how
We'll
Y'all
keep it
spent
evenly they
moving.
were.
37 minutes talking about the
Thir-
mini challenge of the
Yes,
Yes, it
Philippines.
was more complicated
37.
than
It
you
was
would
more
think.
complicated than this because they
Mhm.
had an actual mini challenge
Interviews,
that
basically.
it was
It was
interviews
very relevant
to
Mhm.
to the
talk that
episode.
long. This
Yeah.
one, if we
Okay.
talked about this challenge for 37 minutes, we lost our mind.
I
We
would be
would
confused.
I would be very
We
confused
would
while
be
we're
like,
doing.
okay, we're trying to get back up to 1900 subscribers.
Right, because everybody would leave us. We spent
Yeah.
37 minutes talking about cutting a melon with a heel. But so her prize is she gets to pick the roles for the maxi challenge, which is a um I want to say it's a like a soap opera type, but not really a comedy sketch
I
show.
don't,
Maybe it's
yeah,
comedy
I don't know
sketch
if it's
show.
a soap opera or if it's like a TV show. I
Okay,
don't know the correct classification of the program they were parodying,
I
but it
want
was
to
a
say probably
parody
like a
of a
TV
TV program.
sitcom, more like a sitcom. It felt
Yeah,
like
I think
I
it was
watching
think.
more
it.
of
It
a
felt like a
sitcom.
sitcom.
I think.
So okay, so they were doing a sitcom of some sort of, and so she got the opportunity to pick the roles for everybody. Now here is where the drama comes in, and I was
Lord.
like, wow. So she starts off by saying, I'm going to give the roles out to people who I feel it matches to. Because she said going through the roles, it felt like they wrote the roles for each of them specifically. Like everybody had a specific type that probably fits everybody. So she's like, I'm just gonna pick the roles who I feel fits your character or your type or whatever. And she asked the first person, what role would you like? They said what role they liked. She said, okay, you can have that role. Then she asked other people, what role would you like? They said the role they liked. She gave them the role they liked. Then she gets to certain people. She asks what role they like. They tell her the role they want. And she says, no, I'll give you this. And they were like, but that ain't what I want. It fits you better. I think it fits you better if this role is the role you get. So I'm going to give you this. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So she does that to a couple people. Dita feels like she did it to
Is it
her.
Vampy?
Vampy feels like she, and Marina feels like she did
Mariana.
it. Mariana, why do I keep calling her Marina? Mariana feels like she did it to her as well. And so, which she did because she was like, which role do you want? They told her the role they wanted. And she said, no, I'll give you this.
I don't want this one. This is the one.
Right, this is the one role I don't want. Well, that's the role I
And
would
the
give
role
you.
that she wanted was still available.
Right.
I understand if it was like, no, the role that you want was already given to someone else. That would make sense. But nobody asked for that role besides her, I don't think. Or before her. Maybe if someone asked, maybe it was after her. I don't remember. But anyway, it was weird.
It's hard to know for sure, though. Things could be edited out of order, so you never know. But I see your point.
Yeah, and it did feel like I should have done it for bias.
Your mic is.
Your microphone is doing some weird stuff, Eduardo.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Just doing some
Sounds like
weird
you're
things.
underwater and
Right.
under paper and.
Lord have mercy on my soul.
You might have to go and come back, and we'll see.
Well, the Latinos are messing this up because it's. I don't know if you can hear, but there's a party right next to me.
We can't hear anything. You're fine.
Damn.
But so yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was the case, if they gave it to her and if the roles were there or not. But it was not. Are you good?
I don't know.
You're good.
We're
I
back.
didn't change anything. What's going on?
No.
Whatever.
Technology is the greatest.
StreamYard
So great.
technology, yes, that's what we're
So
playing
good.
here.
Love it.
But yeah, so I don't know what the order was, but I just found it weird that the roles that they said they didn't want, that's the only role I don't want. And she was like, okay, you'll get that one. And I was like, oh, well. But then when we'll talk about the fight. But they was just like, well, I don't really I guess whatever. They really couldn't say anything because she was given the power to give the roles out as she saw fit. And she did that. And they didn't like it. And they were just like, I don't like it, but I don't have a choice to change it because she's not going to change it. So I just have to stick with what I got and deal with it. But I don't know if I would do that. I don't know if I would be like, I would think I'll probably say something like, I said I didn't want that role. Why would you give me the one role I said I didn't want? Why would you do that? Are you trying to sabotage me? Are you trying to give the best roles to your friends? Because that's what it's looking like. And if that's not the case, then why would you give me the only role I said I didn't want? That doesn't make any sense to me. But I think I would have said something just to see if she would be like, oh, no, that's not the case. I'm sorry. If that's the role you really don't want, let's fix it. Or if she was have doubled down and be like, no, that's the role you're going to get. Because if you double down and be like, that's the role you're going to get, then I say, okay, then I know what this is. But if you try to fix it and change it, then I'd be like, well, maybe she didn't hear me say that's the only role I don't want.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest problem was not the biggest, but like what would have been a problem for me if I was in this situation is the fact that she was able to decide the roles the way that she wanted. She didn't have to go one way or the other. It was a choice. I think the problem is what she said before assigning the roles. Because if she could have assigned the roles to whoever she wanted for whatever reason, and she would have been in her right to do so. and anyone that complained then would be kind of in wrong. But the fact that she said that she was going to do it in the, I don't know if it was the exact words, but it sounded like in the fairest way possible is what she kind of tried to say, right? Or like not, she kind of wanted to be like, hey, I
Who
want to make
said?
everyone feel comfortable, but with her actions, she actually did the opposite of
First of
what
all,
she
you have
said.
to
That
remember
would be
what
my
you
point.
said.
That's
Right.
Yeah,
You have to remember
yeah.
what
period.
you said.
Exactly.
I noticed
Exactly.
that every single time that like someone asks for a role, and like someone else, like when there were two people that wanted the role, Angelita always gave it to the person that she was closest to, or like the person that she likes more. And so it was just very obvious to me that it was just like I'm just giving my friends the roles that they want, and everyone else is I'm giving whatever role I want them to have. And I would have respected her if she would have just said that. I would have
Hmm.
respected her if she would have just said, like, you know what? I'm gonna give my friends the roles that they want, and I'm gonna choose everyone else's roles, and I'm not really gonna take
Like
into account
whatever is left,
your point of view.
other people can choose. Like, period. Just say
Yeah,
that.
it just
Just say that.
yeah. I truly feel like it was just like that. It like if she would have just owned it, I would have much preferred it because it did feel like it was very picking like cherry picking who got what role, and that's absolutely fine. I just wish she owned it.
Yeah, I think it's hard to please everyone in these kind of situations, though. So maybe to a degree, she was trying to stick with what she said, but there has to be that asterisk there of within reason, like within my abilities. And so, yeah, she probably did want to help out her friends more if she could, but um, I I don't know that I got that she was trying to sabotage anybody. And I feel like some people took it as she's trying to sabotage me.
It
And
felt that
that's
way though.
I did not think so. I think she gave people opportunities, and one of them was like, I don't need to go outside of my box unless I want to. I agree with that on a runway, but I think it's really important to go outside of your box in these type of challenges. Um, and I think the dangerous part is when you get so caught up in the negativity of the situation and you start to spiral. Who's that really going to affect? That's going to affect yourself. And I think it really showed in how a couple of people did in this challenge because they just let themselves spiral. You can take that disappointment and channel it, or you could take it and then let it defeat you. So it's
It
really
depends
how
on
you deal with it.
it definitely depends on how you deal with it. I agree with that. I think for some people it's easier said than done because I've seen some people who take difficult situations and use that as the fire that they need to make excel and it gets them. But some people it's not that easy. Some people take the littlest thing and it brings them all the way down. Some people will look like one tweet or one comment and it ruins your whole day. And it's
Mhm.
like I so it just depends on how you are as a person. But my thing is, when I tell you something like this is the only role that I don't want, and then you turn around and give it to me anyway, that feels very saboteur because you heard me say that's the only one I don't want. I could take anything else, any other role. It doesn't matter except this one. And you say, no, I'm gonna give you that one. That felt like a saboteur. That's where I felt she did the whole saboteur thing in that incident for that one person, not for everybody, but
But
for
did
that
anybody else
one.
ask for that role?
No, it
So
was
nobody
it.
wanted it, probably.
She said, but she said I could take any other role, and she could have given her any other role. But I felt like that in that moment for Mariana, she was doing that. I think for her, she was sabotaging her because she just didn't like her. And that's fine. You do that. You have every right to do that because that is the power that you were given. But to me, watching it, I was like, yeah, you just don't like this girl. And that's fine. Just do what you do. And it worked because it worked. And we'll talk about how it worked. But it
Yeah,
worked because
absolutely.
she let it take her down there with her.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know if it was like necessarily sabotage, but I think Angelita was already annoyed with Mariana for other things. This is an assumption, by the way. it looked like she was already upset or annoyed at other things that maybe we didn't see. And Mariana did say a few times, or like kind of not bragged, but like said that she was a good actress, that like that was her thing. And so what I think happened was Angelita was annoyed with Mariana's confidence about her acting, and was like, okay, you're so confident about your acting, so I'm going to give you the role that you don't want so you can show how good of an
She tried
actress
to
that you
bring it
really
out
are,
of
that you
it.
say that you are. So you know what I
She
mean?
tried,
I think it was more that.
she tried to bring
Not
it down.
like, I want to see you down. You know what I mean? I think it
Tried,
was more like, okay, prove what you're saying.
which is still an act of sabotage. I feel like that is still an
In a
act of
way,
sabotage
yeah,
because when
kind
you
of.
want to bring
Sure.
somebody down to size, if your goal is to say, "Oh, you think you all that? Let's here, take this. Let me show you what you can do and what you can't do." That is me trying to sabotage you and trying to show you that you're not as good as you think you are. So
I would
it's
agree. I would agree if she said
Yeah.
that. If we knew that that was her plan, I would 100%
baby, the
agree.
way she did it, that was her plan.
I
It's
Mhm.
think it was sabotage, but I think it was not unwarranted or like for no reason at all.
Oh no, it was
I think
definitely
that's it.
warranted. I think Mariana has been saying, "I'm such a good actress. I'm such a good
Yeah.
actress."
I
This
think
and
that
that.
there was a reason behind that, but it was definitely sabotagey a
Yeah,
little bit.
I will also say, as someone that has done theater and has played a lot of roles, like
Yeah, yeah.
I tried to warn you in the comments.
We tried to tell
It's
you in the
the
comments.
sabotage.
It's the
It is.
sabotage
It's
that's
the
You're
happening.
screaming for
sabotage
your
yet
mic.
again. It
okay, so I
doesn't
wrote
stop.
this and I got scared. I'm gonna be so for real. I was like, am I saying something wrong? Oh no,
You gotta
oh no.
leave and come back again.
This audio is so xenophobic right now. I
I'm
cannot.
going to die.
It happens to the best of us. But
Oh, baby, I feel that pain.
I know that pain so well. Before I got this microphone, I was crunchy munch still.
I
Honey.
mean, I can't
But
relate.
uh
Oh, can't
yeah.
relate. I have good
I have a
audio.
good
Oh my
microphone and I've had a
God.
good microphone since day one. So
Okay. So thanks, David. Go ahead, Eduardo. Give your piece.
I mean, at this point, I don't know.
You're fine right now. So say what you got to say.
I'm frustrated now. Anyways, as I was saying, as someone that has done theater in the past before and that has never gotten the role that they wanted, like never in
Hmm.
my life has a director given me a role that I think I would do well. I understand it's really frustrating. I understand that it's annoying, and I understand that it's frustrating to be typecast as something that like you don't want to be, like a character that you just don't associate with, a character that's so opposite to you, a character that just you don't like. I get it. It's frustrating. It's annoying. No one likes it. However, you have to learn also to just get over it and
Yep.
learn to put on the damn show. I
Yep.
understand it, but like at the end of the day, this is a competition and you have to do the best with what you can, and you have to use that emotion, that frustration, and turn it into something funny and turn it into something interesting so that when you do the character, it becomes something iconic, something funny, and you steal the show. Because guess
Absolutely.
what? I've done that. I was given a role that I didn't like. I used that frustration, and I still get messages from my friends saying, "Oh, I remember you doing that role. It was so funny. You stole the damn show." So like you have to really like use that frustration and use that anger for your
Hmm.
advantage and not let it like water down your own like performance. That's the word I was looking for.
Right.
Yeah, I
So
think using frustration, anger, whatever negative feeling, and being able to channel that to like use it as fuel
Oh,
for your
absolutely.
yeah,
performance is the key, I think. And I think that was what was missing here.
Yeah.
And I understand it's very like, especially just in regular life, it's easy to get frustrated when you don't get what you want. Like, just we all feel that way. Um,
Hmm.
but in that pressure cooker of an environment that is Drag Race, I can understand it being and feeling a lot worse. So I
Yes.
get it. The feelings are valid. maybe the way the feelings were expressed could have been a little better, but the feelings are still valid. So
Yes. And we'll talk about how we expressed our feelings in just a moment because
Damn.
a
after
lot of
the
feelings
rose,
were expressed in various manners.
various manners. After they got their roles, they went off to get their stuff together, and we go right into the rehearsal. Well, the filming of it actually is like the rehearsal and the filming and all of that. Dress rehearsal was what I called it. Um, and so they go off. They're in there with Supreme, and they're doing their thing. They're going through the whole thing. Even watching this, I was like, I hope this is funnier than it looks because during the rehearsal, I was like, this just seems all over the place. This seems very wacky. Maybe, and I'm like, is it going to be one of those things where I just don't get it because I don't understand the language? Is it is it what I just hope it's better than what this seems. So I was looking forward to watching the end result instead of watching this rehearsal because I was very confused by the rehearsal. Not gonna lie, I was just very confused by what was going on.
There was one thing in the rehearsals that caught my attention. That was, I think it was right in the beginning when they started kind of filming. Dita trying immediately to improv and Supreme being like, "Oh no, we're not doing that. Oh no, baby, we're not doing that at all." Um, and then that threw her off so much because she, in her head, thought she would be able to improv, but at the same time, she knowingly chose the part with the most lines. And then when she was told that she wouldn't be able to improv, she said in confessionals that like she's not that good of an actress. And I'm like, why did you choose the roles with the most lines? If you wanted to improv and you know that you're not the best actress, why did you choose that? But anyways, like that was the most confusing part for me, honestly.
Yeah, truly, it really was. It was really weird for me that, like, well, at the same time, I do understand that, like, some of these roles would have been more interesting if they had been allowed to improv, but I also get why we chose not to do that. But I think Dita just was so focused on trying to improv that she actually forgot that she had to show any sort of emotion or like any sort of characteristic when saying her lines. So when she was saying her lines, it just came off really monotone,
Mhm.
and like it was just a really big miss. And like I I don't think that if you are aware that you are not the best actress, but you are a good improver, you should choose a role that kind of has some lines, but maybe not the most. You don't want to be the main character in that situation because I swear
Yeah.
to God,
Yeah.
I swear to God, if I have audio issues again, I will. I'm gonna leave and I'm not returning. I'm gonna leave and I'm not returning.
Eduardo said, I'm going home.
Eduardo said I'm done.
I eliminated myself.
I,
I am so done.
I I'm so sorry, Eduardo. This is a sick thing.
I haven't.
My thoughts and prayers to you,
I
my friend.
understand if you leave and don't come back. We would love to have you come back, but I can understand if you like, I'm sick of it. Maybe it's the headphones. I don't know. Oh, poor thing. I love him so much. I'm so sorry.
Um,
Poor
I
baby. But yeah, it's oh wow. I'm sorry. Thoughts and prayers, Eduardo. Look, prayers, sorrows, prayers, sorrows. Um, I forgot where we were. Oh, Dita and all the
Adita choosing the
choosing
part with the
to
most roles, the most
with the
lines.
most for no reason at all
Yeah,
and being
choosing, not being
improv.
assigned,
Yeah,
choosing,
choosing and
which is shocking.
but yeah. David, did you have something you wanted to say?
No, I really didn't have any thoughts during this portion. All of my thoughts left are from afterwards when they had the big fight.
Ah, okay.
Many thoughts. Mhm.
So Well, let's keep it moving. We get through they get through the rehearsal or the dress rehearsal and all of that stuff, the filming that they do, and we get back into the workroom
The next day.
the next day, and people asked, "How did we feel about the challenge?" And and Vampy was like, look here. I have something to say. Got to get this off my chest. This has been bothering me. And I need to see my girl Vampy was like, I'm not finna sit here and let this marinate in my spirit. I'm about to just say what I need to say. And she said, because when I asked and said, I don't want this one role, and you gave it to me anyway, I felt some type of way. Now I'm paraphrasing, of course, but she felt some type of way. And she let Angelita know that she didn't feel like you were being fair, like you said you were in the beginning. Like she felt that you were trying to do some fishy business with your selection. And so Angelita didn't say nothing. She just sat there and was like, oh,
She was like,
hmm. And so then Mariana was like, yeah, you did that.
yeah, same.
Same, like for
Same,
reals. Like I
actually.
felt the same thing. I felt the same way. It's giving you were jealous and you just wanted to give me, a, of course, again,
But
paraphrasing. But then,
but Mariana
but
did go a different way
yeah, because she
about
came
it
out the
when
gate.
saying,
Hold on, she came out the gate and was like, I think you were doing something foul, and I think you are a rotten snake for coming and doing what you doing. That's what you fake, you phony, like she was going in, and she was like, I don't like it. Of course, again, paraphrasing because that's how I would say it. If I was in her position, I would have said something like that. But so then when she said the rotten snake of it all, everybody was like, oh, whoa, 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 you going too far. So I think it was Mickey who stepped in and was like, wait a minute, hold up. You're not gonna come for my girl like that. So I got something to say too. So she added her 2 cents in as well. Was like, if anybody is being a rotten snake, is you, because you the one coming at her like this when it could have been a conversation y'all could have had one-on-one. You could have came better than this. You ain't had to call folks name. You calling people out their name, that's foul, that's whack, that's messed up, don't do it. And so that's when Angelita was like, okay, now I'm ready to talk. Y'all did all this talking and fussing back and forth. Now I'm ready to talk. And she said, let me tell you something. You a dumbass. Literally. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I gave you this part and you said, like, you supposed to be this great actress and you supposed to be able to handle everything and you said you could do it. I gave you a part, you ain't do it, but it just went wild after that. Like they were going back and forth with each other. Other people were jumping in, trying to defend each other, they friends. And I'm like, whoa. What y'all jump in and say y'all piece because it's wild.
so I think everyone, in a way, had a point with what they were saying or the point that they were defending. All of them. It's just the way that it was handled. And like I said, I understand in the pressure cooker. Also, they know they're there to make good TV, so maybe it was a little bit more heated intentionally or not. But it did give us great TV, so I'm grateful for that. But the thing is, nobody was 100%. No one was wrong and no one was right. Everyone had points that were very valid. It's just the way that everyone was so aggressive and defensive at the same time, and kind of not willing to listen, and just like pretending to listen, just thinking about the thing that you're going to say next and like how you're going to win the argument, whatever. So I think everyone had very valid points, expressed it in a horrible way, in different ways, but all bad. Not bad, but I mean, you know, it could have been handled better. But the point is, nobody ended up coming out looking good out of this. No one that was involved. But it was great drama. So there's that. But it was so stupid at the same time. Like the reason for the discussion. It was, anyway.
Do I even want to try to talk about this?
You can try sign language.
I'm gonna try, and hopefully my audio doesn't explode again. If it does, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. Truly, it okay. So as I said, I understand Bumpy and Mariana's point of view with this frustration of like not getting the role that you want, and in fact getting the role that you just didn't want to do. I think they let themselves like fall down the rabbit hole and like spiral down, and so that made them like become very aggressive against against Angelita. And then I also think that Maggie just decided to introduce herself into the situation for no apparent reason, and I was really confused as to why. Uh, Maggie kept saying that like Mariana kept wanting to do things for attention or for camera time, but then it also
Isn't
felt like
everyone?
yeah. It first of all, that's what I said last time. We're in a drag competition. If you're a drag queen, you probably love attention, and that's absolutely fine. We are on like the internet, probably just because like we like attention. We like people online, people like on the internet like attention. There's no
On
one
a
that doesn't like attention.
reality show,
Yeah, if you're on a
you
reality show,
want
you
screen
like
time. So
attention.
yeah.
And so like I get it, but like it also felt like Maggie also wants airtime, and so it just felt weird for her to say that when she has also been, like clearly been doing this for airtime, which as I said is fine, but it just I find it weird. I find it weird, and I just I don't know. I didn't like. I felt very uncomfortable because it was basically like three queens that I really really enjoy and really really like fighting against each other, and I was feeling really uncomfortable. I said this comparison before we started the podcast. It felt very much like when your parents are fighting and they send you up to your room so that you can play like on your Wii, but then you can hear them fighting in the background. That's what it felt like. Like two people that you really enjoy and two people that you like love fighting, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can just sit and try to enjoy something else. Try to find joy in something else. That's truly what it felt like. And so I was just kind of super uncomfortable watching the whole thing because I love Mariana and I love Angelita, and them just fighting made me kind of upset.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, did we even talk about La Coco jumping in at the end? Because she got involved too.
Oh,
I
And
forgot. Damn.
yeah, so it really became like Vampy and Mariana versus Anelita, Le Coco, and Maggie. And I agree with pretty much everything you all have said. The only thought that I had about Maggie though is at the point when she jumped in, and Helita had just gotten a minor tongue lashing from Vampy, and then a pretty major tongue lashing from Mariana. And she was not saying a single thing. So I think Maggie was trying to be a good friend, seeing, oh, she's not defending herself for whatever reason. Somebody needs to jump in and say something because this is getting uncomfortable for all of us. So I'm going to throw out my 2 cents. So I think she had good intentions, but it still was not her place to do it. So I'm a little mixed on her specifically. But for the most part, I honestly, like, it just comes down to everybody's feelings were valid. You just have to find a way to communicate it better, because if you're trying to put somebody in their place, they're not going to be receptive. And I don't think anybody was receptive in this whole argument. Maybe Vampy, but that's it.
I think the Maggie thing, maybe I think it does make sense what you said, it being about like defending your friend. But I think I think it might be because Maggie is a lot younger than Angelita, and she didn't realize what Angelita was doing in that
Mhm.
moment with not responding. So she felt like her friend was not able to stand up for
Right.
herself, maybe, and wanted to do that, but she didn't understand that her friend was actually doing something else. She had a
Yep.
strategy, and she knew exactly what she was doing. Um, and I think that may be one of the reasons why she also apologized. She was like the first, I think, to apologize over the
Mhm.
whole thing. Oh, or Vampy apologized and she apologized back, but like she realized that it was stupid and unnecessary. And I'm glad that people were able to see that it was unnecessary at like just unnecessary. Yeah.
I mean, it's very much a classic. You saying something to my friend, and I'm standing there, and I'm looking at my friend, and they not saying nothing, and it's like, is she hurt? Is she embarrassed? Is she mad that she's so mad that she can't say something? So if my friend can't say nothing, I'm gonna say something because
Right.
that's it's like, hold on, what y'all not finna do is gang up on my girl. You just
In
not
front
finna
of
do
me.
that
Like,
in front of me and not defend them. And so it made sense to me why they felt the need to jump in and defend her. But in the long run, it was like you didn't have to because she is able to defend themselves. You just have to. I think they didn't think she was doing it fast enough for they liking because it was like, okay,
Mhm.
girl, you just got hit. Oop, you just got hit again. Girl, don't let them hit you a third time. Oh no, hold on. That's it.
she
That's
was
it.
like, "Oh, you're gonna let that slide?"
Right.
Okay.
No. So I get it. I
Mm-hmm.
understand. But I do like in the end that they resolved that
True.
between them. It was like it wasn't my place to jump in, and I'm sorry for doing that. But I'm sure they had some more talks later
Mhm.
because
I mean,
some people didn't feel at the end. I felt some people a little bit more pettier still than
mhm.
others. I felt like the pendulum kind of swung the other way from it was petty over here at first, and then they were like, oh, okay, we're calming down. But then this side was like, oh no, I'm still here. Oh, I'm still here. Y'all might be cool, but I'm still here.
Mhm.
And
Even at
you
the
know
end of
Well,
what?
this
well,
argument, even
Huh?
at the end
but
of this argument, Mariana did end up apologizing,
Mm-hmm.
and we had Angelita saying, "I don't accept it right now," which
Right.
is fair. You
Which
don't
is
have to
fair.
accept it right then. You don't have
yeah.
to.
You don't have to. And
Yeah.
I don't think she accepted
And
it
Mariana
completely.
said that. Mariana said, "It's okay if you don't accept it. I just want to apologize." She said it. She said
And
that.
absolutely, because honestly, you're apologizing for you. You're really not apologizing for me. And I don't have to accept your apology. If you hurt my feelings, I might need time to process that hurt first. So you apologize. Okay, I'll accept it when I'm ready. I'm not ready right now. And there's nothing wrong with that. We should normalize people not accepting people's apology right away if they don't feel like it's real. I want to accept it and be like, okay, I accept it when I fully feel like this is a real acceptance and I can fully move on from it. Because if I say it and I'm still hurt, I ain't moving on from it. I'm like, yeah, okay, I accept your apology, but I'm still mad. What's the purpose? What's the
Because then
purpose?
you're gonna have to say, "Okay, I accept your apology," and then you're gonna stay mad because actually you didn't, and
You
then you're gonna
didn't.
have to bring it up later and be like, "Oh, actually I didn't. I'm still mad," and then it's
Right.
like,
It just makes no sense.
uh, yeah.
But we move along from that because we do have to go in after. Oh shoot! We moving. Look, keep talking. No, I'm ready. I'm just kidding. I said, keep talking. I'm not ready yet, but I am. No, I'm
Let's
not.
also remember
Oh,
that
Go ahead.
Mariana and Maggie did have like a history before this, so that's also very likely why Maggie chose to jump in and like go against Mariana because, as we've said before, they clearly don't like each other. They clearly don't get along, and so it would make sense if they were like if Maggie just already doesn't really like Mariana, and then she sees her kind of like go against one of her friends.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. That's all I wanted to say. Now we can
Yeah.
move on.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say the same thing. It just seemed not just with Maggie and Mariana, but with Angelita and Mariana as well. It just seems like there were more things that built up to what we saw, but I think a lot of other things happened that we didn't see that led up to this.
Absolutely. So then we get into it. Oh, I found the right one. Ah, Supreme. It's the yellow dress.
The year of yellow, apparently. I'm just seeing so much yellow
Yeah,
It's a lot of yellow.
I, I,
recently. So much. I
I
like this
think
dress though.
yeah, I think Supreme looks good. I think Anna Locking looked better and looked like the actual judge.
Girl,
So
that hair. Oh my god.
that hair was wild. That hair was wild.
So
I really
good.
enjoyed it.
So good.
So like she got outshined. She got outshined, which is really unfortunate. But this is a cute look. I enjoy it.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
like
fine.
I don't like the stocking and we can see the slit in the top. I don't like that part. But sure, it's fine. It's fine.
I don't like the black gloves, but yeah,
Yeah, me either. It's fine.
it's fine.
We go. This is the acting challenge that they did, Eduardo.
Aquí no hay quien diva.
Period. And
Hmm.
then this is the
Which
runway. Oh, yeah.
um I just to mention because they mentioned in the episode, it's a parody of a popular show in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's the same name, but instead of Diva is Viva,
Yeah, it's
right? I think. Yeah,
aquí no hay quien viva.
yeah. Hmm.
Yes.
And the
I don't know
runway.
the reference. I just wanted to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that we see that's the reference.
And the category is
Historias para no dormir.
which it translated to us in English as the tale to of not sleep of not
Tales to keep you tales to
tales
keep you awake.
awake. Yes, tales to keep you awake.
So basically, scary looks.
Scare you up. Nightmares. Give you nightmares all the time.
The
So you
monster
never want
under the bed.
the monster under the bed, the monster in the closet. You never want to
Yeah.
go to sleep if you see this thing.
Hmm.
Oh, well no, we're not talking about that. I thought he had the
Acting
parody
challenge
the acting
picture.
challenge pictures,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
no,
We
no.
can use the aquí no quien
The title. Yeah.
the title if we wanna just keep it there, or we
Yeah,
can
we'll keep
just
it here. We'll talk
take it.
about the acting challenge of it all. Who were your highlights? What were your lowlights? Let's go through that.
I really enjoyed this challenge. I didn't think it was amazing, but it was enjoyable to watch. It was entertaining to a certain degree for me. Uh, the opening was really funny. I enjoyed that they did like a whole opening song. I really thought that was a nice touch from production, and it was funny. It was really camp. Um, it reminded me a lot overall of programs like comedy sketch programs that I grew up watching here in Brazil. So I think that is a part of why I enjoyed it more than maybe y'all did. But my highlights were the old ladies for sure. Stole the show completely from the first, not even line, but from like when Chloe just put her head through the door. Like that was already like, okay, I see the vision and I'm buying it. But I also really enjoyed Likoko a lot. Um, I think with such a known character, like a character, it's not the character that she got was not unique in any way. Like we've seen a lot of these same character, and so I think there was a big chance of it kind of being like meh and have like no impact whatsoever and be kind of boring. And she found a way to make it interesting and funny, in my opinion. I think the characterization was really good, and she didn't have to be so over the top and like too much overacting to still make it funny and camp. Um, like especially with the mannerisms, was like the best part of her performance for me. Um, and out of the old ladies, I think the best for me were Chloe and Angelita, and then Kelly, but like so close that it's just honestly a three-way tie for me. Honestly. Um, and then Miss Cristo was literally not there. I literally forgot that she was in this challenge. Um, Mariana was one note, and I kind of was disappointed and underwhelmed because I wanted more. And I know that she has so much drama inside of her, and I just wanted to see it. Um, Gita, we kind of touched on it, and then it ended up being very one note. And it was clear that she was trying to remember the lines so much that she didn't have energy to put anything else into her performance. Um, and I actually enjoyed La Nina and Vampy. Like Vampy was so into that character, like embodied the character and was like in character the whole time. And it was so different from the other characters that I kind of enjoyed like the two polar opposites of her being in that scene. And it kind of was like she wasn't meant to be there. But that kind of brought a humor factor to me. Um, and Maggie, I think did fine. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad or good. It was just safe, I think. Um, but yeah, La Nina for me did good. Like I thought she did well with, especially with physical comedy, like the way that she was just like standing, or like the things that the way that she moved her body, all of that. Like I don't know, I just felt like she had a very clear intention with her character, a lot more than some people that were safe. But uh, overall, I really enjoyed it. I was able to laugh, um, honestly, like more than 3 times, I think. So for a drag race acting challenge, it was good overall for me.
I have very different thoughts on this because I was bored. It just was so long. It was so long. It was like so like egregiously long for me. And then I just think the writing was not particularly funny. I don't, maybe it's just not for me. Like this kind of like jokes, this maybe like this show wouldn't be for me. It just didn't hit. Not for me. I think only 3 people were particularly funny, and those were the old ladies. I truly think that they were the only ones that made me constantly laugh. And I think Angelita really stole the show. I think she did an amazing job. I also think Chloe did really well, and I think she finally used the tits to like do something really interesting with a character. I mean, she did it last week as well, so I think it's really fun when she's able to do that. And yeah, I think Kelly also did a really good job. Um, I think everyone else did the best with what they had. I don't think like that the writing itself was particularly funny, so a lot of people just did the best with what they had. And so like Vampy's character was not particularly funny for me, but like she did the best with what she had, and I think she did fun with it. Maggie had a stupid character, and she was stupid with it, and she tried something, and it was fine. La Nina stayed in character, that was fine. I think Dita was truly the only one that I think did pretty bad. Like nothing clicked. Nothing clicked at all. I already said it. I don't really need to say more. It was one note. It was boring. Dita just didn't click, and Mariana I think was just too focused and too frustrated on her, like too focused on her frustration to really let herself go. So truly, those were the only people that I think did kind of bad, because everyone else did fine. I was just not entertained.
One thing
Okay.
I want to say before is because I forgot to say about the writing. Chloe had one specific line that killed me. When she said, I don't care if gender is a rectum, I screamed. So I just want to give my kudos to the writing for that specific line. Um, Go ahead, David. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I had to.
Well, people will be happy to know I don't have a big think piece about this sketch, so it's not going to take very long. But I will say, first of all, it didn't really work for me. Part of it is a me problem, part of it is a formatting problem. The problem here is I have to be glued to the subtitles the whole time, and everybody's talking very quickly, so it's hard to really soak in what's going on and just be constantly reading. And I don't read fast. I read at the same pace that I talk. So it was a challenge for me. So that's the me problem. The format problem, I think when you have an acting challenge with 10 queens all in the scene at the same time, that makes it very difficult to soak everything in and distinguish a lot of the characters. If this had been segmented into smaller groups, which I know it started smaller and like gradually expanded, I think it would have worked better that way, but just having 10 people there present all in one room in an acting challenge, it's a little difficult. I don't think it was the best way to go. With that said, I had a pretty clear top four, bottom four, and safe two. And I think I'm going to have some hot takes here. I'll get the safe two out of the way. For me, it was Meggie, and it was actually Kelly. In fact, I think if I had to rank those two, I think Kelly would be on the lower end of my safe because I did not I did not remember a lot that she did. Like I agree that of that group of the older ladies, she was maybe the one that stood out the least. But for me, the tops in my book were Angelita, La Coco, um, La Nina, and Chloe. Those were the ones that I got a lot of characterization from. I got a lot of scene stealing from them. And like each of them, I could describe what their character is like. And that's really what I want to be able to do in an acting challenge like this. For me, the actual standout out of everybody was Chloe. So I was actually pretty surprised when she was not in the top. So on the other end of the spectrum, the people I would have had in the bottom would have been some combination of Dita, Miss Christo, which I completely agree with everything you said about her, River, Mariana, who just felt defeated the whole time, and then actually Vampy. But Vampy might have been the one that I kept in the safe block, but I don't think I got as much personality from her character as you all did. Um, but yeah, I think definitely Dita would have been in my bottom two, and probably Miss Cristo again.
The way I agree with your ranking exactly the way that it is, the
Mhm,
reasonings are different, but the order is the same.
mhm, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't rank anybody. I just liked who I liked and didn't like who I didn't like. So I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. I wasn't as, I feel like I'm falling in the middle of y'all, or like Eduardo just was bored. Y'all was slightly entertained. I think I was a little bit entertained from time to time, but I do agree it was just longer than I would have liked it to be. I wish it was because, like you said, when they had everybody on screen at the same time, and it just felt like a lot of noise in my head. I couldn't figure out what was going on. It was too much happening at one time, and it just felt confusing to me. So I couldn't wrap my. I read slow too, David. So I'm like, I can't keep up with what's happening here. Trying to read this, and I, I don't know. I don't know. So I found it a little confusing. I thought it was a little too long, but there was some parts that made me laugh, and it was some parts I was like, okay, that's pretty funny. But I really don't have a whole lot to say, so I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just not because we're already an hour in and we have to talk about results.
I am
Because
curious though, would we all have had Chloe in the top 3?
I
I would have.
Okay.
probably. Prob yeah, I probably would have had her up there.
see if out of the three old ladies, if we only had to pick two for to be in the top, Chloe would have been one for sure. Like it actually there's no question. It would have been Chloe and Angelita, like for sure.
Mhm.
Callie still did very well, but
Yeah,
it's yeah, for sure.
I agree. So we do have a top 3. If you want to hear our thoughts about their looks, go to the look. Check us out on the look over here. But our top 3 is La Coco, Angelita, and Kelly Pasa. And with our winner being Angelita. Do we agree? We all agree.
Out of the top 3 they had, I agree.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it makes sense.
Yes, yes, definitely out of the top 3 that they had, because that is not the top 3 we would have had. But their bottom 3, though, La Nina, Mariana, and Tita. Do we agree with this bottom?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
Why is Lana in the bottom? It doesn't make sense. What? Hello? I'm confused.
For the other times that she was in the bottom, I didn't. Well, I agree, but this one, no, I don't see it. Um, I don't agree, but I can kind of understand the critiques that they had about her look, but the critiques that they had about her performance. Sorry, but that was bullshit.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
that was they watched something different.
Yeah.
Or maybe I missed something. Maybe I'm wrong, but that felt weird to me. So weird.
Yeah. So I always, when I see the tops and bottoms in our score sheet that we do for the draft, I just go ahead and like fill in who I think are the tops and who are the bottoms. So I'm like, okay, so we got Angelita, we got La Coco, and we got La Nina as the tops. And then when they started critiquing her, I'm like, wait a second, we watched different things because I really enjoyed her character.
When they were calling out the names to like step forward and they called her, I was like, okay, she's in the top finally.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay. Oh, sure.
They're not featuring her.
No. And why? I don't get it.
No, but our bottom 2 was Mariana and Dita Dubois. And I guess out of the 3 that they chose, this probably is the rightful bottom 2.
For sure.
I
But
would say.
I just have to say, Miss Cristo not being in the bottom is, even though she's on my team and I love her, very debatable, very questionable,
Wild.
very upsetting.
There's a hedge of protection around her.
Wild.
Even with that lip sync, like, what did you think of the lip sync last week? Because we all agreed that she did not win that lip sync.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like a big difference. Like it was close enough that it wasn't like absurd that she stayed. But yeah, if it was me, I would have. If it was only on the lip sync, I would have
Exactly.
sent her home. But yeah. But before we talk about the lip sync, just we kind of touched it on what happened on Untucked when we were talking about the fight. But just to make it clear that during Untucked, pretty much everyone apologized. Like it started with Vampy apologized to Maggie, and then Maggie apologized back. And then when the other girls came back, they told them that had happened, and then it opened a space for Mariana to apologize to the girls, and then Angelita as well. With Angelita not really wanting to talk and not really expressing if she accepted the apology or not, but she was in her feelings, and that's valid. But just that happened, and I'm happy that everyone was able to have that opportunity to apologize and to like rethink what they did, and all of that. So I was just happy that we had that moment.
I was hoping that enough time had passed that Angelita would be in the space to accept the apology, and I respect that she's not. But we're getting.
But you know why? Because of what Mariana said on the runway.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah,
think about that.
because Mariana said on the runway that which, see, she didn't lie. I don't think it was throwing anyone under the bus. She just said the reason I didn't perform my best is because I got in my head because I wasn't assigned the part I wanted, which is true. And she didn't blame Angelita. She didn't say, "Oh, I did
Right.
bad because she gave me this role." She said, "I got in my head because I didn't get the role I wanted, and that
I performed it. I didn't perform
affected
it
my
well.
performance." Exactly.
Mhm.
But I
Absolutely.
understand why Angelita, with everything that had happened before, with hearing that on the runway in front of the judges, I understand why she would be upset and not really wanting to hear an apology right after
True.
that. So I get
Mhm.
it. And I think it was the best decision of her saying, "I don't want to talk,"
Mhm.
because she was clearly in her feelings and she knew she was going to say something that she shouldn't. And so that was a good decision.
I think it's the confessionals that are getting me because the confessionals just feel really bitchy, which is fair. I mean, I like a queen that can be bitchy, but like I like a queen that can be forgiving too and graceful. So I don't know. I want a good balance.
I, I I I think I said it before and I say it again. I still like to just give people that chance to be in their feelings. Give them that chance to
Mhm.
process the feelings. And even if in the confessional she's still in her feelings and so her confessionals come off a bit
Right.
harsh, I still want to give them grace to be in their feelings and process it and deal with it. And then maybe they'll deal with it afterwards. I'm sure maybe next week or whatever, or if maybe in private after the show was over, they were like, okay,
Mhm.
I thought about it and I'm okay to accept your apology now. Because sometimes it take a minute. Because if you may, it really depends on how mad you are and how easy you are to let go of things. So,
And
but
I
also,
think.
let's keep in mind with confessionals, the girls say what they say,
mm-hmm,
but they are fired up by the producers to be
mm-hmm,
more intense or say things in a different way and all of that. So let's just be mindful of that. But yes.
Yep. And what I do like about this season is that there is a bunch of conflict, but I still find myself enjoying everybody. Like it's not gotten to a
yes,
kind of icky place that we've seen other seasons lately
mm-hmm,
where it's
Because it's
just like
not
I'm really
serious
rooting
enough.
against people. Yep.
yeah.
Like
Because
the issues are not serious. So
I think we as the audience realized how petty this fight was. Like right away, it was like, oh, this is just a petty little fight. Now, if it got really personal and they continue to just attack each other's character like outside of everything, it got very personal, then it got ugly. And I think that's what happens with other shows that we've watched, and we start to not like the drama that's happening. It's like, oh, this is starting to make me feel icky and uncomfortable.
Mhm.
It hadn't gotten to that level yet. Now they can continue to grow if they want to and make it that, but I hope they don't, because I don't like when the fighting outweighs the purpose of the show. And it's like, oh, we come here every week to see what's this fight gonna be about this week and who's fighting this week. I'd rather not. So if they keep it at this little petty level of spats every now and again, I can handle it. It's still good. But
then it's
after
entertaining. Yeah.
yeah, after the Untucked happened and they all go back for the lip syncs. Time for the lip sync when Dita and Mariana are lip syncing to Loca, and baby,
This was
what
wild.
this was wild.
Wild.
This lip sync,
So
I was
wild.
like,
Before we get
oh,
too
But
far into the lip sync,
entertaining. Oh, go ahead.
before we get too far into the lip sync, I was so convinced. I was like, okay, this is the time we're going to see that package come out from somebody because they built it up so much going into this lip sync. And there was such an emphasis on that countdown from 10 seconds. So I was like, oh, it's coming out. But it's crazy. It did not come out. So that means unless somebody is like feeling confident and hasn't played it, then we've ruled out half of the cast from having it because we've seen 6 different people lip sync and none of
Mhm.
those people played it. So
Plus, we know for a fact that Le Coco doesn't have it because she didn't even get a package
Right.
in
right,
episode 1.
exactly.
Right.
So it's down to
I
5
think I
people,
know
and
who
Chloe
has
thinks she
it.
knows who has it.
I think I know who
Who
has it because I think production probably wants to keep one girl around specifically. That's
who do
just
you
my
think has it?
personal point of view, and I'm not gonna say anything about that.
Oh, well,
Anyways,
you're not
I
going
know
to
who
tell
you're
No,
us who
but
talking
you
about.
think has that.
who? Say their names.
Maggie?
I think production wants to keep Maggie around as much as possible because she has the appeal of being a pit crew member, and they probably know her, and she's also bringing drama.
But
So
the way they
because
got
of
this
that,
package, like it could not have been rigged. Couldn't have been.
it can be.
It
I think it
could
But do you
can
be.
be.
think it's like the chocolate that they don't get to keep it? It stays with production?
They
Maybe.
opened it in private right after they got them.
Okay.
I,
Well,
I, I find that
They picked a
I
random piece of
personally
cake.
I personally find that dubious at best. I think that there is obviously gonna be some production meddling with this. I don't trust the production on this twist. If it truly is like random, I will be glad to be wrong. But at this point, I still feel like it's not random. I have a feeling that there is some production meddling, and
I mean,
as I said, I think they'll just bring it out when it's most like important, most iconic. I don't think we're gonna see it for a while.
I think we are so jaded by production riggery in lots of shows that we've watched so far on all spectrums of the reality TV base that we're kind of like, it probably is production rigged, and then it's like, but it couldn't be, right? We want to. It's the good, and the bad. We want to hope for the best and say, I don't think production had anything to do with it. They could. It was just a random draw, and somebody has it. But in the back of your mind, it's always that nagging, like, but could production have had something to do? It's just a
Yeah,
it's a
and there's
it's a
always
thin line.
that exact same thing of like, is production like kind of helping out some of these queens just so that they can either get the queen or like not be in the bottom because they have the queen. I don't know. I just
Yeah,
there's a lot
but we
there. It's constantly
it's a
there for
lot of
me,
stuff to
especially
go with
this
it.
season.
Absolutely. But we didn't see the package. Didn't come out, and the lip sync happened, and this was a wild lip sync because I was like, "Whoa!" Number one, I was like, "What is Mariana gonna do with all these layers? Like, this is a lot of clothing she's wearing on this runway right now." And I'm not gonna act like I am the first person to, I have drag race history lessons or anything, but this is the first time I have ever seen a heel reveal on since I've been watching
hmm
Drag Race where somebody had on a she had on a clown shoe only to take off the said clown shoe into a heel, and I was like, oh, a heel reveal.
gag.
Work. Okay. Love that. So she was still like, I'm still a drag queen under all these horrible clown outfits. I'm still a queen because then she took everything off and she had a leotard on, she had a wig on, and I was like, okay, work. Now we see a queen on stage giving us a lip sync. She did all of that. She pulled out every trick in the book. She pulled it out. And Dita, little late start for me, but then she got into it. She started taking off stuff, pulling off her big outfits and the things, and had a wig reveal underneath her head thing, and it was it was a lot going on in this lip sync. It was a lot happening on both of their parts, and they were into the song, and then towards the end of the song, they were pretty much dancing together, and they were on top of each other.
Dancing.
They were dancing together on top of each other. They was taking their wigs off together. They was grinding on each other. It was a lot happening in this lip sync, but I enjoyed it. I absolutely
I
enjoyed it.
was entertained the whole time.
Oh
The
yes,
whole time.
absolutely. I truly think
But
that. Anyway, go. I was having
okay. Dita unfortunately had her face covered like through half of the song. Like I understand like not changing and going as you were on the runway, but like if it's a lip sync and you're going to eventually remove stuff off of your face, um should happen rather quickly so you're able to express any kind of emotion and we can see that your lips are moving to the song. I think that when you're doing a lip sync is a key element. So the fact that she didn't have that for half of the song, even though the half that we were able to see her face, she did well. Um, Mariana just the reveal was so stupid, so unexpected. Like that's the thing with queens. I love to be surprised and to like everyone was gagged. Like the other queens were gagged. Like when you're able to, as a drag queen, gag other queens with a stunt, mm, that's saying something. And it was really good. It was messy, but not in a bad way. It was just so entertaining to watch the whole time.
Yeah, I agree with you, especially the last part you said there, because that was my thing is it did get very messy, but not in a way that detracted from the performance, which is so rare. It's so rare that
Hmm.
you can have like mess and it still kind of work. I do think Mariana was always going to win just because she's capable of doing things that Dita could never do in a lip sync. And it was just so impressive watching Mariana. Dita held her own for most of the lip sync. The only thing that I kind of didn't like was the very end when Mariana's on the ground and Dita got on top of her, and then that completely limited anything else Mariana may have had planned to do for this lip sync. So I didn't like that because it's like you're taking the control away from her, but at least it was just at the very end, I guess. So
But they did, I don't know if you noticed, but they did kind of signal to each other. Like there was a look between the two of them before they like started performing together at the end. So I felt like it was kind of like they were both in on what they were doing. I feel like.
I do too because they did look and point at each other. They actually pointed and was like, "You," and like I think they
Hmm.
wanted they made a
They had a
uh
similar idea at the same
yes,
time and were like, "Let's do it." Yes. Yeah.
but unfortunately, eliminated was Dita, and I think it was deserved due to this lip sync. I think she was the one who did the worst, but a wild but very entertaining lip sync from the both of them.
And a very entertaining queen in general. I
Yes.
really enjoyed Dita as long as she was on this season, especially in confessionals. Like she was fun as a narrator and had like shady remarks that were not serious. So like it was just fun. It was a fun addition to the mix of this cast, and I'm sad to see her go so soon. But I agree fully.
yeah, I'm with you. I feel like she's kind of a queen's queen, and she
Mhm.
was refreshing. She was refreshing while she was there, and she actually impressed me. Like a lot of her runways were more conceptual than I would have expected from her. So I
Hmm.
thought she was a cool presence while she was there, and you could tell Supreme was pretty upset to see her leave.
Yeah.
But do we have a draft update?
We do. I'm
Do we
just
have
pulling it up,
to?
actually.
Do we have to?
Yes,
Uh,
Eduardo. Unfortunately, even though you're last, there has to be a draft update.
I
Even in the
just suck
draft,
at drafting, apparently.
even
Uh,
if I'm sorry, we all gone through it. Well, most of us have. Some of us
Yep.
never hits the bottom of drafts, but most of us do.
Well, if it makes you feel better, you're not alone down at the bottom because there is a tie for fourth place between the two people on the bottom here, River and Eduardo. And then third place is Logan with 21 points. Surprisingly, I'm still in second place with 24.5, even though I had two of the bottom three this week. And then Lana, you're still in first place with 32 points.
Period. Look at me.
what?
I'm a savor these moments because one week something is gonna happen and it's gonna say, it doesn't matter. I don't care. That is it, y'all. We have talked enough about this recap about this episode, which was a wild and crazy episode, but fun to some, something to others. I don't know. um, but
An
we'll be back.
episode to others.
It was an episode to others, but we'll be back next week to talk about episode 4 of Drag Race España. Some of us will, maybe some of us won't. Who knows what the panel will look like next week? We'll see. But somebody will be here, and they're going to talk about episode 4. And but until then, before you head out, subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to all of our channels. All those links will be in the description below. Hit our audio podcast link so you can listen to us on the go. Follow us on all of our socials at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Go check us our look over here out. It should be out. If it's not, if you're looking at this, the day this comes out, it'll be out tomorrow. Or you can go to our Patreon and check it out right now. And I look over here. And yeah, that link is also in the description below. And get your cup merch. LanaG'sCreation.etsy.com. That link is also in the description below. And we'll see y'all next week. Cheers.
Cheers.